Hey everybody, a few people or a lot of people very confused about why some engines crack pistons not long after the injectors have been replaced. So I'm going to explain that. It's quite simple really. There's always a few variables to it, so I'll include those for those that stick around for the longer detailed information. But to put it quite simply, so you've got an engine that's say 15 years old, a vehicle, let's say it could be an 08 120 like this one, which is, how was that? It's 18 years old. It could be a 2009 150, which would be, what's that? It's pretty old as well, isn't it? 2010, 11, they're all about 15 years old. Say it's done about 300,000 Ks, more or less, draw a circle around the 300,000 Ks. And, they decide to put new injectors in, and they may or may not get them from me. They may or may not get the whole kit with the fuel pipes and all the right procedures. That's another story. If you want to know more about the injector replacement and injector information, everything around it, we've got playlists on this YouTube channel, 4x4 Diesel. Go check the playlists. But, let's say they've done that. They've gone, assuming everything's right. Let's say they've even got the injectors from me, the injectors, the pipes, the whole kit. They've joined the VIP group. That's the group for clients only, which you can join by answering the 3 questions. You must answer the 3 questions. You've got to be friend, family, or client. So you can prove yourself to be a friend, you can be a family member, or you can be a client. That's obviously anyone that's paid money to, in the Prado Hospital for any work done. That doesn't mean the workshop partners, but I might let you in anyway. Just depends how you, how you answer the questions and stuff like that. It's obviously at my discretion. I'm the only one that approves people into the VIP group. So 300,000 Ks, you've got in there, you've watched the videos, the full detailed training on injector replacement, because there is so many pitfalls, starting with obviously the parts, the counterfeit, the remanufactured, all these different injectors that were made for other vehicles. They'll bolt in and they'll work right, but they're actually designed for other countries, and they're maybe not top level tier 1 injectors. They could be like seconds, tier 2, tier 3, anything like that. Depends where they've been sourced from. From me, you're only going to get brand new, genuine, 100% top level tier 1 injectors, pipes, blah, 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 all that sort of thing, the full kit, all the info and the backup service, everything you need. If anything was to go wrong or not go to plan, the videos are there, the VIP group's there, I'm there. I've actually done thousands of these jobs, so I know them like the back of my hand, probably better than the back of my hand, and nothing's a problem. We've got a solution for absolutely everything. What I haven't got a solution for is people that miss the information, people that don't continue to watch the videos past 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, people that miss videos, people that aren't subscribed, that just don't get it, that there's so many pieces of the million-piece jigsaw puzzle. If you've got a 1KD FTV diesel engine, you'd have to be stupid right now to not subscribe, turn the bell on, watch the whole video to the end, think about that, then get into the playlist and catch up on a lot of the videos, because there's a lot of information you and a lot of people have missed. And I haven't got words for how important it is for you to understand this stuff so that you can keep this engine running forever, because the idea is it runs forever. Now, other makes and models, all sorts of things on the cars are going to fail, all sorts of running gear, transmissions, all sorts of problems. And so we're not even going to bother with that. We're just focusing on one that doesn't have problems. But there's one problem that arises every now and then. It is rare, but people make a lot of noise about it, like it happens to, 10% of 1KDs when it's probably 0.01 whatever percent. But as soon as it happens, one every few months, whatever, there's all this noise, there's millions of 1KDs, and it happens to one, and it's well documented that it can happen and how it happens, right? Including from genuine Toyota documents, not the doctored up ones that use a bit of a picture from this and a picture from that and a picture from the genuine documents with somebody's write-up in between. I mean the genuine ones, right? So 300,000 Ks, you've got the car, you've owned it, whether you've owned it for a while or not, doesn't, you could have owned it from 100,000 or 200,000 or for the last 10,000 Ks. You put the new injectors in, beautiful, you've done the job, it's running sweet, mate. It might have seemed to be running sweet before, but one thing you'll notice, if you do the injectors on, say, for example, a 2012 150 Prado, if you start it up before you put the comp codes in and done the pilot learn, you should notice that it runs rough. And that's one way we know how bad the old injectors are, because the ECU, it compensates massively to allow you to know, look, it just compensates. And you just say, it's compensated, you've put new injectors in, and all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, it runs rough, right? It runs rough until you put those new comp codes in and do that pilot learn. So that's one way it sort of really says to us that, those injectors were really bad. Now, we pulled the injectors apart, right? We've seen a lot of all these injectors. We know the wear points and all this sort of thing, and we know they're not working well, but, each to their own what they do. So this is a bit of detail so that you can hopefully understand why, after you put the new injectors in, you're highly likely to crack a piston. No, I'm just joking, mate. You're not highly likely to crack a piston. I just sort of put that there. So I hope you went, what? Oh, and you're okay now, okay? I'm just joking, right? So this is the deal. It's the only reason it happened not long after you put the injectors in is because it was going to happen anyway, okay? It probably took a little bit longer. It was probably about to happen anyway. Maybe it was actually truly running that bad that's why you replaced the injectors, even though you thought it was running okay, because the software is so good. At about 300 Ks, it is well past the life of these injectors, okay? 300,000, they're absolutely cooked. How do I know that? I see the internals of the injectors when I pull them apart. I see how engines run. I see the diagnostics on the scan tool of the condition of the injectors and how it's running. And Toyota genuine documents talk about injectors and not working right and wrong combustion and how that damages the pistons. So that's actually what happens. Now, if you leave your injectors in for 300,000 Ks, your piston is fatigued. It's fatigued, it's already damaged, it's already started. Now, not in all cases, because there's all these combination factors. It's not just the injectors need to be not working right. There can be other factors that contribute it, like, small things to big things, right? Could be anything. Could be larger size tyres loading up the vehicle creates a lot of higher EGTs, higher temperatures, coolant temperatures, EGTs, whatever, right? The whole thing's running hotter. Modifications, airflow, we've talked about it before. Towing is a big one. Towing in overdrive, you're not meant to do that. This is a big contributor, okay? If you're towing around a trailer in overdrive, even if everything's right, I'll say there's a chance you can crack a piston. Very low, but it's a chance. There's always a reason. I've said it before. There's nothing wrong with the new injectors, or the new injectors aren't doing anything to the engine to make it crack a piston. It's not happening because you just changed the injectors recently, because some people are sort of going, oh, well, if it's going to crack anyway, then maybe I shouldn't change the injectors. No. Look, I've talked about this face to face with a number of people for years, and most people seem to get it, right? Now, if it's already going to happen anyway, you put new injectors in, it might prolong the life of the engine. It might, instead of lasting 3,000, it might last 20,000, or instead of lasting 10,000, it might last 50,000. Who knows? I don't know where that fatigue level is. I don't know how that vehicle and that engine has been used and how bad those injectors are. So there's all these factors that come into play. And it's not like a bad injector. It's not an injector problem. They're all not working right because they're worn, they're flogged. It's just a little 4-cylinder engine, and that's where it does affect a smaller engine when it's not working right. It needs to be working in peak condition. So why has it happened? It's happened just simply because it was going to happen anyway. Key reason, you've left the injectors in there too long. So if you've cracked a piston at about 300,000 Ks, they've just been left in there too long. Original injectors for that long, no good. And other contributing factors are how the vehicle's been used. Now, if you did that to a vehicle that has just gone again, soccer mum, school and back, running around here and there and whatever, hasn't done any towing or not much, just the box trailer or the boat down to the boat room half an hour, there's a good chance it hasn't damaged your pistons, because it's really that long-term heat, towing, hauling something heavy, probably an overdrive, on top of those old flogged injectors, is your biggest recipe for disaster. So what should you do? Should you not change your injectors? Is it a waste of money? Well, you tell me, what's better? A few grand and you're probably going to be okay. I'll give you some more info on that in a minute. Or save a few grand and then you've got to spend 25 grand when you crack a piston and it's unknown time and place, and you're probably going to be more likely for it to happen because you didn't spend the money on the maintenance. It's a bit like saying, how long can I leave my engine oil for? And well, if that's the case, why don't I just leave it there and let's just see what happens? We won't do any more oil change because this engine's gone anyway. Let's just leave the air filter there. Let's just stop all the maintenance and keep driving it. Well, you'll be surprised how long it lasts. But the point is, you still should spend that small amount of money and do the injector maintenance, because at least 99% of people that do that, and we go through a lot of injector kits, a lot of people replace their own injectors, a lot at the workshop partners and a lot at the Proto Hospital workshop. People don't, and we see the majority of cars these days, 300,000 Ks, more or less, whatever, 400,000, and most people don't have this problem. If you're concerned about it, that's why there's a thing called a cracked piston fund. Keep watching the videos, get to know it and what's going on, and everything will be okay. It's worth doing because most of these engines, even when they're overdue, don't crack pistons because it's not a big problem. It's not like, it's thrown, so I might as well give up on it now. No, it's not give up on it. It's continue. It's make sure you got your RAC cover, so just in case. Oh, maybe I should get to know this cracked piston fund. Start off with the right injectors, the brand new, genuine, the whole kit from me. That way it's guaranteed you know why would you go anywhere else anyway? You can't get any better value for money for the information, the product supplied, how fast the service is, customer service second to none, best customer service in the world. Why would you bother going anywhere else anyway? You've got to start off with the right parts. You join the VIP group, you watch the videos, you get to know the job, and then you decide if you're going to do it yourself or if you're going to go to one of the workshop partners. It's as simple as that. You've ticked the boxes, you've done everything you can. Kind of, what do they say? Hope for the best, plan for the worst, hope for the best, whatever it is. Okay, most people are successful. In the cracked piston fund, people don't crack pistons. In the VIP group, people generally don't crack pistons. The very few that do, very, very few, okay, they have a vehicle that's had original injectors in there for 300,000 or 400,000 Ks or more. And remember this, the majority of them have done more than that, and they've still had injectors in there a long time. They've had injectors changed before, once or twice, whatever the case may be. They're all not cracking pistons. They're all driving around on the road. It's all good. Everyone's happy. If this was a big problem, everyone would be, you think I'd want to keep them? I'll be getting rid of mine. I'd be telling everyone I wouldn't be, I'd go pick the better car. I'd go pick the better car to work on, maintain and keep long term. And that's what we do. What's good about this? It's easy to work on yourself, especially if you watch the videos. It's value for money. It's only got 4 injectors, 4 pipes, 4 of everything. Easy to work on. A V8's got double as much parts. It's got double the turbos, often double the DPFs. Bloody expensive to repair, double the parts on maintenance. Costs you more in fuel, costs you a lot more to purchase it. So it probably costs you more on your loan. You think you did the right thing, and that's awesome. I'm glad you like the right foot, and we love the V8s as well. But for people that are thinking value for money, smart, reliable, service it yourself and all the repairs, and you don't have to pull the engine out to change turbos and all this sort of thing, this is the bloody engine. It's so reliable. But anyway, it was to answer the question, why do they? Well, it's got nothing to do with changing the injectors. All I'm going to say is changing them will probably prolong it a little bit, but the fatigue's there anyway. It's going to happen anyway if it's going to happen, but for most of them, it's not going to happen because Toyota wouldn't be able to make enough 1KDs and keep replacing them if it was happening to everybody. It's not happening to everybody. So just get perspective on it, get it in your head, okay? So that's why it happens. Hope that helps. The biggest reason, in case you missed it, for cracked pistons is chips, tunes, remaps, whatever you want to call it. For example, all the cracked pistons we see these days have done 400,000 Ks on original injectors, or anything from 20,000 Ks after a remap, as low as 100,000 Ks, 150,000 Ks. What's going on here? This is a bit odd compared to the usual, 400,000 Ks with original injectors, I'll add. What's going on there? What's going on there? Well, what's going on there is it just wrong combustion, and it's big bada bing bada. You know what I mean? Not good. So no chips, no tunes, no remaps. Just run it stock standard, good maintenance. It's not about what oil and how much. When you say, oh, but I've done all the right service, it's not about what oil and whether you did your oil at 5,000 or 10,000. It is about a number of other contributing factors, the EGR caking up, intakes and that. You want to keep that clean. So wink, wink. Solution for that, so it's running clean. It's getting peak information from all your sensors. You've got a clean MAF sensor. You've got a new MAP filter. Everything's running nice and clean and clear. A clean air filter, clean oil, clean fuel filter. It's all good, but it's not about, you left it an extra couple thousand Ks or whatever. It's all about your injector maintenance, not having the remap, not having the chip, not towing in overdrive. And honestly, if you don't know the history of the vehicle, if you picked it up with 200,000 Ks, like I did this vehicle, then you just don't know, okay? You just absolutely don't know what they did unless you know what they did. I know this vehicle for 196,000 Ks towed a caravan around Australia, most likely in overdrive. I expected this to crack a piston from 196,000 Ks. Bloody hell. Anyway, that's another story in another video. I've waffled enough, 15 minutes so far. Easy to understand. You've left the injectors in there too long, and that's it. That's why it cracked a piston. In my opinion, it's still worth doing the maintenance, even if you're late. Better late than never. Get it done before it's too late. The longer you leave it, it's like saying, oh, it's missed an oil change. Oh, it's meant to be done at 10,000 and it's done 20,000. Oh, should I just leave it in there and keep running the engine till change your bloody oil, mate. Drop it out, you know. Change your oil, change the air filter, clean the sensors, do the injectors, clean the EGR, clean the intake, whatever you want to do. Educate everybody that drives the car, mate. Here, put it in fourth. Don't run it in overdrive. Even this thing, towing or not, it doesn't see drive, it doesn't see overdrive till at least 80 Ks, you know what I mean? If you load up the vehicle, you've got some big tyres, you've got some 33s, you've got a big bull bar and a winch and a big high roof rack, and you've got some big towing mirrors, you've got a heap of wind resistance, well, maybe you need to run it in fourth anyway, because it's almost like towing. I mean, towing what? Somebody says, when you say towing, what do you mean? You mean towing like, you know, a couple of dirt bikes, or maybe towing a jet ski? Well, there's towing and there's towing. Totally correct. I don't know. What's your coolant temperature? Have you been watching the videos? Do you understand the coolant temperature, how it correlates to the EGTs? I mean, understand it, right? Get your head around it. That, okay, towing something smaller doesn't matter, but if it's a 40-degree day and you're going up a hill and your coolant temperature is 93, 94, guess what? Bada bing, baby, you should have it in fourth. Absolutely, my car's going to be in fourth as soon as it hits 90 degrees, right? As long as it's not a Nissan Patrol, you don't know what to do with that. But anyway, that's another story. Old reliable technology, best I could come up with. And if you've been watching the videos, you can check the playlist on that one. Not too excited about what happens at idle speeds. But like I said, I was meant to stop waffling. I can talk all night. There's a quick video for you. Real quick, 17 minutes. Could have gone for hours. Talk to you soon. See ya.